Good evening. It's Artzenin. Welcome back to another Insight. I concluded the delving behind three main characters: Maxine Sarsfield, Deja Chamond, Amber Fierce, for the prequel to Snapshot, Something More. Now I'm going to switch gears and go back to Snapshot and start discussing the past of some of the main characters and side characters. And I'm going to open up with Kota. Shout out to Snowclaw. It's your boy, Kota. This is actually made in honor to Snowclaw. She loves this guy. I'm still on the fence myself. Kota. Without giving away the mystery behind Kota, I want to take a moment and explain his connection to Maxine, specifically Maxine, and his overall goals being in her life. One could say that Kota is just using Maxine, because when you read season 1 and you see his professionalism versus his personal side, it's obvious that Kota has feelings for Maxine, but it's also very notable that he sticks around because he's looking for somebody. And Maxine, it is not the person he's looking for, but Paris, France is the location of the person he is seeking. Towards the end of Snapshot season 1, I decided, rather than having 7 episodic adventures, that I would have 4 main adventures and then have the 3 bonus episodes equal to 7. And in one of those bonus episodes, Kota gets real with Maxine and his purpose. He reveals who he is in Lee Jiu, his connection to Lee Jiu. She doesn't take it well, because quite frankly, Kota was supposed to have been different. But this is a man who has to wear many masks, have many shades of gray that he chooses to live in. What do I mean by that? Black and white is straightforward. Yes is yes, no is no. Gray? Did you know, from a medical standpoint, there is over 200 different types of grays? Or is it 100 types? It's either 100 plus or 200 plus. I have a friend and a soulmate, Rebecca Barnett. If you're watching this, Rebecca, hey, shout out to you. These grays all represent something different. Honestly, I didn't know that. I didn't know that gray had significance. I'm a very black and white person myself. I don't even want to deal with gray. But what I have discovered is when you deal with a person, metaphorically speaking, who is a gray versus a black and white persona, there's so many different shades of gray. And they all mean something different from the medical field. So I took that concept and applied it to Kota. It's not that Kota is trying to be fraudulent or deceptive or misleading. I can't reveal everything, because if I do, it really ruins the mystery behind Kota. But I'm probably going to have to just go ahead and say this. Kota is just not who he says he is, but he's who he says he is. He cannot afford to truly reveal who he is, lest people come and hunt him from Lee Jiu. So with Maxine, somebody he is openly falling in love with and desires for the right reasons, he wants her to always see him as Kota. Okay, I'm going to try to break this down. The Kota life that he lives, the Kota persona, the Kota personality and characteristics that associate to that name, because it's an alias name, a code name for him. That is the kind of man he wants to be 24/7. That is the man that fell in love with Maxine His real name is something else. And it's that name and who it connects to that Kota fears Maxine will reject, she will criticize, she will hate, and want nothing to do with it. And it's that name that is in the black and white versus the gray, his real name, that Kota perceives would be more of a curse if Maxine saw everything. And I mean every secret, every political move, every today move with his real name that would make her feel unsafe. That's Maxine's thing. She's not in a world where she feels safe. Kota, as that name, the man Kota, makes her feel safe. She is his person, romantically and sensually speaking. That is her person. So the day in that bonus episode where he sits her down and he tells her who he really is a pivotal moment for their relationship, their future. And he's scared that Maxine will report him or run away from him, shove him, just be done, and that will destroy him. Kota can take on just about everybody physically that you can throw at him. People twice his size, thrice his size, smaller than him, muscular, thin, fat. Kota is very well trained and prepared and knows forbidden arts, unorthodox arts, and the type of training that your militia and military personnel would know. And there's a reason for that. That connects to his real name, which I will not say here. So Kota had to be trained under his real name in all of these types of martial arts, including weapons, for the sake of his family's survival, his own survival, and his area of dwelling. Again, I don't want to give away who he really is, or it just ruins it. And I'm not willing to do that. Even though this is my insight, my show, and I can say and do what I want you guys to read. And I want you to piece this together for yourself. So was it right for me to write Kota's character and his story arc this way? Yes, because when you read Snapshot, not something more. He's not going to be referenced in something more. I haven't decided if his real name is going to drop in something more or if he's just whispered about, but you will meet Kota officially in Snapshot seasons 1 through 4. And I haven't decided if he's actually a hero or a villain. He seems like the hero type. I know he's heroic. I know he ends up with Maxine. I know they go through it and they have to communicate their feelings and figure out what to do when she learns who he really is. But technically, he played her. He didn't want to, but he had to play her because he has yet another name. Not his real name, not Kota the bodyguard that's protecting Maxine Sarsfield, the celebrity Snapshot photographer. He has another name. And that name is Chameleon. That's right. Chameleon. Now, if you all have been watching the vlogs, specifically following the Snapshot insights, then you should know what an animal name means and what that connects to. So that should tell you something about Kota. Furthermore, the name he selected for himself is Chameleon. Is Kota a villain? Is he a hero? Kota is a tragedy. He has to play the villain, I think, but in his heart, he's a hero. Certain events with people, including family, pushed him into this darker place where he had to become Chameleon, where he had to become Kota. The difference? He knows who he is. He knows where he comes from. His flaws, his opinions are his own. No one is controlling him, but there are other people in his his childhood, young adult life, into his career path as a bodyguard. There's all these people who control the scenarios and outcomes of the people he cares about. So he's his own person and can come and go as he pleases, but what does that matter that he has his freedom? What does it matter that he has these enhanced skills of combat and chemical warfare? What does any of that matter if the people that he loves and desires to be in his life are being controlled by something and somebody else? Kota rose up and took on these different grays, not because he wanted to truly deceive and be fraudulent, but because he knew if he didn't do something, all of those people were going to disappear at some point, and he couldn't let that happen. At the end of his story, everything comes out. Will he apologize? Of course, but I can't deny that Kota, in a way, does seem to play the role of a villain. It's the appearance, though. His motive truly is good. And another interesting thing about Kota that I'm learning about him, he never wanted to be the gray. He never wanted his life to somehow build up to this moment where he has to become gray. He wanted his life to be normal with normal parents, but it didn't happen that way. He wanted to have Maxine close to him and then be trapped in that moment as they were falling in love, and it just stayed that way. But Lee Ji wouldn't let that happen. Out of all of the players in Lee Ji, Kota, I think he's the only male figure that maintains his authenticness and his trueness of who he is as a person. He doesn't get lost in it. He doesn't lose his mind. He's angry. He's upset that he has to go out and do certain activities without Maxine knowing. And when we get into season 2 of Snapshot, she's totally going to know because Maxine's going to be part of Lee Ji at that point. So in a way, Kota now, as hard as he wanted Maxine to stay away from that and to not be part of that madness, now she's here. Kota is a good guy. He protects her honor. He doesn't let other men come around her and take advantage of her. He hears about her hardship and he learns every little detail there is to know. So protecting Maxine is at the top of his list. But when I get into part 2 of his role and how the other men in Maxine's life pop up, Kota will have a much more dominating role to play. He has to, because now the men are going to petition for Maxine and they will want to marry her, and Kota is just the bodyguard. Because as Chameleon, the other players don't know where Chameleon is. Chameleon fell off of the radar. So when he reappears and the other Lee Ji players see that he is this bodyguard for someone from outer world, they're going to lose it. They're going to want answers. They need to understand, okay, how is a king of a territory parading around someone from the outer world? Why is Chameleon here? Why is he doing this? In part 2, I'm going to break down why he left his position and promoted Fox, who was his jack, to be the acting Chameleon, the fake Chameleon, while he was out under the name Kota, going around Paris, France, looking for that special someone, while, falling in love with Maxine on the side. I'll see you next time. Be safe. Much love. Bye.